after prismatic is reactive. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't try this in the video. This is so sick. The only thing that I think would be better. So this is gonna be a problem. I can't wear this. There's too much green on it. Thanks everyone for showing up, by the way. Yes, today we are going to be looking at the Victrix Pro FS fight stick. So has anyone got a question? That's done it. Raildex!
Just finished first week of streaming. Having fun. Highest view count was 9 on Jump Force.
Congratulations, Raildex! That's epic! But I have to wait until I see more long-term reviews. Well, I imagine that most of the reviews won't come out until the 15th of March. Wonder if the Victrix uses a custom brick board. I don't think it does. I think it uses whatever, I think they made the board themselves. Jason's got a good breakdown video. I stick to sticks because you won't find hitboxes in arcades. Stupid reason, I know. That's not stupid. I'll tell you what. That's pretty much the reason that I stick with Sanwa parts. Well, okay, it just so happens that I do like the Sanwa part. Oh, wow! I've just given a new element to this coffee cup. The reason I stick with Sanwa. Oh! Is this gonna work? This looks ultra dodgy. Whoa, 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 this is... Okay. I just realized there's a little clip here. I've done the classic bait and switch. There is, in fact, no arcade stick coming up. We're not gonna play any video games. I'm literally just gonna sit here and brew coffee for 2 hours. Ah, it's so hot! Is it tournament legal? I believe so. I can't think of any reason why not. I'll tell you what feels kind of strange, and I just started noticing this yesterday. Because it's such a hard material, the buttons feel like they stop. It feels harder. Imagine you're pressing buttons on plastic, and every time you hit it, it goes... Like the plastic kind of bends and flex. Bend and flex. The Victrix, it's really hard to show you, but it really stops dead. All vibration, because this has got zero flex in it. It's an incredibly rigid material. So in answer to your question, is it tournament legal? This is the manual for the Victrix Pro FS. What is this about? Fastest legal response time. Enhance! Zzz. Enhance! Zzz. Built from the ground up to deliver the fastest legal response time on console, Pro FS will be the critical difference between blocking and taking damage. Fastest legal response time. Doesn't violate the laws of physics. No, I think what the problem is, I can't remember exactly what the explanation is, but it's something like, because of limitations set by console. I'm not really sure. It's legal. You're all gonna see just how awful my execution is now. Okay, I just want to say that it is no joke. I never... If you've been watching the streams, if you're new to the streams, you probably don't know this, but I never get that. I never get that because it's on the left side. When I'm on the one-player side, I panic. I can't do the down, forward motion. I don't know. Basically, I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. It's an excuse. I am making excuses. You should have access to the new emote. I'm quite proud of it. Did I say I was gonna body you? I don't use language like that. I'm not that cool. Yeah, so according to the Jason video, apparently it is slightly different in length, but I honestly can't tell. Is it a bit longer? It might be. But here's the thing. If you buy the Victrix Pro, they do give you the original Sanwa lever as well. I found a button. Oh, buttons! Name that Animaniac. You get this as well. And I assume that this is the same length as a normal Sanwa ball-top lever. There's not a lot of people who have video coverage of the Victrix, but Jason from Jason's Customs does have a very detailed video. That man knows exactly what he's doing. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but stuff like this matters to me kind of more than the performance of the stick. Oh, you know what that is? It's because it reminds me of a car. Whoever engineered that click definitely worked on car engineering before. Going onto the locking mechanism and going ka-chunk. Yeah, the cable management's really beautiful. What's really impressive about this stick is how low profile this is. Look how slim this is. It's a very slimline stick, and as you can see, there is like barely any extra room. There's like no breathing room. This thing closes, and there's like a millimeter of air between the parts and the flap. So hopefully you guys can get a good idea from this video. It's quite a different sound because the plastic, because it's not made of plastic, the plastic casing doesn't absorb the shock. But yeah, so usually I don't play Ryu, but I want to. I should be playing Uni ST. Why? I won't play Uni ST until French bread starts paying me off with that French bread money. It's still funny. See, I know the memes. Hadouken. It does take a little. I'm kind of adjusting. I'm adjusting to the new feel of the cold aluminium. Now that I've had a day to use it, because that video I've made is an unboxing video, right? I'm noticing that it really does stop dead. It's like playing on a really solid piece of, I don't know what to call it, metal. And that does deaden a lot of the vibration. Will Victrix be your main stick right now? Right now, I'm liking it so much. I'm liking it so much that I want this to be my main stick. I think it makes me a little bit sad that I won't be showing up with the Hatsune Miku design anymore. But you know, I could switch back and forth. I think what's nice is that it feels enough like other sticks that you could switch back and forth quite easily, you know, because it's got all the Sunless stuff on it. So yeah, I think I would like to make this my main stick. No lag? What are you talking about? Input lag. Move the joystick to change the color. So if I press this button, I can switch the lights off, white, pulsate. Whoa, it can change colors constantly! How exciting is this? So it can actually cycle through different colors. Yeah man, this fight stick is kind of, it's something else. So we've got fixed, pulsate, prismatic, reactive, white, dark. Can you see that? That's dark. This is dark mode. Now this is fixed, right? Fixed, pulsate, pulsate. Next one is prismatic. That's so cool. That's insane. That's really cool. After prismatic is reactive. Oh! Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't try this in the video. I feel like such a fool. How epic is that? Oh my god. RGB. This is so sick. Oh man, that's so much cooler now. I wish I discovered that like an hour ago. Yeah man, it's green, but I could change it. So if you hold it down, should put it on red for a while. Red's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, brushed aluminium is really cool. If you're a fan of Zippos, I had a brushed aluminium one. Whoa! That's too early. What's wrong with me? Oh man, I'm freaking out. This thing is so cool. Oh, by the way, yes, it does also flash on reaction. The only thing that I think would be better and more obnoxious would be if they changed it so instead of phasing on slowly, if they had the fade in and the fade out shorter, then when you double tap, you could see that they had done a double tap instead of a tap. Now this is one thing, now you can tell that Victrix, they're focused on engineering and design and they're less focused on playing Street Fighter. But if you had a player design this stick, they would definitely have reduced the fade in and fade out so that when you see a double tap, it would actually look like a double tap. At the moment, a double tap just looks like a normal tap. Ah. How does it feel compared to other sticks you have? I got the Victrix pre-ordered on Amazon already, but I want to know more. Mishing Malecho. The Victrix Pro AF. I've noticed now that I've been playing it for about a day and a half now. It's very, very rigid. If you're used to more plasticky sticks, absorbing the shock of your movements, it may feel a little bit jarring at first. I want the Victrix and I've never even used the stick before. I think that's basically the kind of category this stick falls under. It falls under the category of makes you want to play stick, even if you don't play stick. Oh, you're used to playing on pad? It depends what matters more to you. Do you play to enjoy the game or do you play to win? If you're playing to win, then like switching controllers is quite a bad idea, isn't it? But if you're playing to enjoy the game, like, honestly, it's probably harder on stick, but it's more fun. Weibuolu. Thank you for subscribing. Oh really? I didn't actually know that you were a pad player before. I was a bad player. Is that what you meant? Did you mean bad player or pad player? By the way, this is not a sponsored stream. I just felt like playing with it today. It's on reactive mode right now. I think that's so cool. Has not mastered the Nash anti-air, I see. Oh man, I've been watching too much Code Geass. How cool is it that it lights up when you press the buttons? Honestly, that's my favorite thing about the stick. Yes, if you haven't joined the Discord, there is a link below in here somewhere where you can come and chat. We've got a room for gear chat where I absolutely will be talking more about the Victrix Pro arcade stick. I would say that the biggest takeaway that's like a bit of a shocker, like it's a bit surprising when you first try it, is that a lot of sticks that are made of plastic absorb some of the shock of your buttons, but if you're as used to smacking the buttons as hard as I am, then when you hit a rigid stick like this, it'll surprise you how fast a button can stop. I guess there's a good side and a bad side. The bad side is, if you press the buttons too hard, it'll hurt more because it's such a rigid stick. But the plus side is that you'll learn to be less abusive with your fingers and press the buttons fast but lightly. Is it easy to mod? According to the Jason's custom video, it's not as free and easy to mod as other sticks because of the size, right? That doesn't mean that it's impossible. Oh, you know what? They may have changed it. I don't know if it's changed, but just looking at it now, I think maybe the screws next to the JLF might be a little more widely spaced. Razer better or this one? Interesting. Now let me go and grab my Razer Pantera. This is the Razer Pantera Evo. Now compared to the Victrix Pro FS, as you can see, there is a size difference, first of all. I'd say but not a huge difference. They're very similar, they're very, very similar in size actually, as you can see. The Victrix looks smaller, but I don't think it actually is a whole lot smaller. The thing that I prefer about the Victrix is the weight. And if you prefer a stick that doesn't shift around too much while you play, out of the box, the Razer Pantera Evo will be a little frustrating. But making something heavier is actually quite easy if you just put some weights inside it. Something that's really cool about the Razer Pantera is it's got something called Razer mechanical switches. And now that I've been playing with it for months, you know, a couple months, the Razer Pantera mechanical switches are definitely faster than Sanwa switches. I think there's a similar amount of tension in the spring, but they return up faster. This one, it feels like it's got more spring. But which one's better? If you asked me, I would much prefer to show up at a tournament with this. The Pantera Evo even though it feels like, you know, it's a solid stick. This is a highly, highly featured, don't get me wrong, this is not cheap as well. As you know, both sticks are not cheap. You've got to spend a couple $100s to get one of these. But they both got lots of features, all the functions that you need, all the standard, you know, it's the same shape, right? We got the Victrix layout, Sanwa lever. I would just prefer to show it with the Victrix. Mostly because it's heavy. Not heavy, but it's solid. It's not too heavy, but it's heavier than the Pantera Evo. This is just gorgeous. If you just need to get out of the way, you can just unplug yourself first. Now here's why a detachable cable is such a big feature for me personally. When you're sitting at tournament and you need to get off the setup, you have two options. You can wait until the other guy who's closer to the PlayStation pulls out your USB cable for you and hands it to you, or if you're like I just did, you're plugged in at the end of the match. The reason a detachable cable is so awesome is because you just stand up, you go, okay, I'm out of here. You pull the cable out. It doesn't even matter what happens to that cable. You can stand up and leave. You can stand up and walk off somewhere else. And then...
In 4 months, Kappa.
Yeah, Mattox! Thank you so much for 4 months of subscription. You rule! What I'm trying to say is that you can pull out the cable and walk off. And at least the next guy can sit down, or gal, can sit down and set themselves up. Then you can walk over to the PlayStation, pull the cable out, and then wind it up next to the PlayStation. But if you don't have a detachable cable, you sit there waiting, or you pick up the whole stick and you walk to the PlayStation, but then you risk getting tangled in other people. Anyway, this is all old hat. If you've been to a tournament, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I usually just linger around and chat and judge them silently. The thing is, there are downsides to detachable cables, don't get me wrong. With any port, because it's a physical connection, the more you use it, the more you wear it down, like the red ring of death. Which is why people are trying to get away from USB cables for charging phones. Like, wireless charging does not involve any friction of, you know, copper contacts. And that's why ideally we would all have these things connect wirelessly. But for fighting games, there's just that risk, isn't it? There's always that fear that with a wireless connection there could be interference. I don't think we're going to be competing with wireless arcade sticks anytime soon. I think it's going to be wired for a long time. But with phones, that's the fear, right? The fear is that the wear and tear of pulling the cable in and out is going to eventually damage the port or damage the cable. Friction! I wonder how long the Victrix USB-C port will last. I think if the build quality of this stick, of every other aspect of this stick, is anything to go by, it's so strong that I doubt that you would have any trouble. I doubt you would have any trouble with the quality of the USB port. But, you know, it's day 1.5 for me. I've had this stick for 1.5 days. Something that's interesting is actually the USB port. You can see the cable tubing. I wonder if maybe you can just rip that cable out and put a different one in, and that would replace the port as well. Also, I am quite excited that these handles are removable. I know it's a shame they didn't go for the Audi style clear cover, because actually if this cover had been clear, how good would that be for a mod if you replaced this with a plexiglass so that you could see the insides? Obviously you wouldn't see anything on the top, but then when you're walking around, you could have RGB lighting and all the innards of the stick. Gamers, you know we gotta have it. RGB, all the things, exactly. It doesn't just feel like popping open the hood of a car, it sounds like it. I don't give a crap about the fastest legal response time in a stick. Who cares? It's about the click. It's all about that click. Every time I do it, it gives me like chills. Isn't this just the most tasteful color of aluminum you could have possibly chosen? Oh, that's not color of aluminum, you know what I mean. The color of the finish that they've applied to it. Gunmetal. That's genius. It's too bad the lever is so close to the buttons. Well, that's just the That's just the way it is with, what's it called? I love the Victrix layout. Personally, it means that my hands come in at the right angle, and as you can see, this isn't for everyone. I realize that for people with different shaped hands, the noir layout is much better. But for me, this is actually perfect. If I use the noir layout, I have to move my hand in. No template for artwork because if you want artwork, you actually get it done by Victrix. They'll laser engrave it. If you show up to NCR, apparently they're gonna sit there with a machine and they'll engrave your stick right there on the spot. If you got any other questions, throw them in the Discord. See you next time. Bye.